You're walking down a crowded street, your phone in your hand. You're scrolling, texting, you're not paying much attention. And then it happens, a slight bump, a quick grab, and your phone's gone before you even realize it. You spin around, panic sets in, but it's too late. Whoever took it has melted into the crowd like a ghost or is speeding away on a motorcycle. Your phone's not just gone, it's about to enter a whole new world, one that you probably didn't even know existed. Stolen phones don't just vanish, they journey through underground markets, sketchy repair shops, and even international smuggling rings. Some are sold to unsuspecting buyers, others are stripped for parts, and a few, they're turned into tools for even bigger crimes. Phone theft is everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in a bustling city or a quiet town. If you own a smartphone, you are a target because they are like gold to thieves. They're valuable, they're portable, they're in constant demand. And let's face it, we carry them everywhere, often in plain sight, like dangling bait for opportunistic predators. Every day, thousands of phones disappear into thin air, slipping from pockets, disappearing off tables, or in some cases, being snatched brazenly from hands. With the average smartphone costing upwards of $1,000, it's no wonder thieves are out there hunting for their next target. Recent statistics paint a grim picture. In the US alone, an estimated 100,000 phones are stolen monthly. Cities like San Francisco, New York, Chicago are hotspots for this kind of crime, where thieves use everything from pickpocketing to violent grab-and-run tactics. In cities like Sao Paulo, London, Mumbai, phone theft is just a part of daily life, feeding a black market that's both global and incredibly lucrative. In London, a smartphone is stolen every 6 minutes, representing a massive 150% increase in the same numbers as last year. And of those thefts, only 0.8% result in a charge. Sadly, the typical response is to fill in the form, submit said form, and never hear anything from the police again. It's not just the financial cost that hurts, it's the personal loss. Photos, contacts, private messages, banking apps, and even digital IDs are all stored on these devices. Losing a phone's not just inconvenient, it's like handing over the keys to your entire life. Thieves know this, which makes stolen phones such valuable prey. Phone theft has even evolved with technology. Criminals have become smarter, using phishing tactics to access locked devices or hacking tools to bypass security features. And it doesn't stop at individual thieves. Organized crime rings now run sophisticated operations to resell stolen phones across borders, wiping data and disguising devices to make them untraceable. So how is this done? Well, when it comes to stealing phones, thieves have developed a sophisticated arsenal of tactics, each designed to catch you off guard. From simple street-level snatches to cunning psychological ploys, they know how to exploit human behavior and environments to their advantage. The first is the classic snatch and grab. You're waiting at a bus stop, scrolling through social media or texting a friend, and boom! Someone's ripped the phone from your hands and they're running off. These criminals rely on speed and the element of surprise. Before you can even register what's happened, they're halfway down the street, disappearing into an alley or hopping onto a waiting motorbike. Snatch and grab incidents are especially common on crowded city streets, parks, or cafes where people leave their phones on tables. Thieves often scope out potential victims beforehand, targeting those distracted by their screens. It's a high-reward, low-risk tactic for them, leaving you stunned and empty-handed. Pickpocketing is another one. It's as old as crime itself. Thieves blend into crowded places like subways, markets, or music festivals, waiting for the perfect moment. Armed with deft fingers and the confidence of seasoned professionals, they slide into your pocket or bag, lift your phone, and vanish before you even notice something's wrong. Pickpockets often work in teams to increase their chances of success. One might bump into you to create a distraction while another makes the grab. In busier areas, they use chaos to mask their actions, taking advantage of people's natural tendency to guard their wallets while leaving their phones vulnerable. Not all phone theft involves brute force or sleight of hand. Some thieves prey on your kindness. They might approach you with a seemingly urgent story, asking to borrow your phone or make an emergency call, claiming that they've lost theirs, or maybe they'll pretend to have found something of yours. These scams are designed to disarm you emotionally and lower your defenses. Once you hand over your phone, they seize the opportunity to run or subtly disable it before escaping. Sometimes they'll even distract you long enough to swipe your phone while handing back a similar-looking but non-functional device. It's a devious trick that works because most people don't expect their generosity to be exploited. For the more brazen thieves, intimidation is the weapon of choice. Mugging incidents involve direct confrontation, where the thief demands your phone, often threatening violence. These crimes typically occur in isolated areas, late at night, or when you're walking alone. Some muggers don't just rely on fear, they may escalate to physical force to get what they want quickly. In these situations, the focus isn't just on the phone itself, but on getting away fast before any intervention. Not every phone thief is prowling the streets, though. Some operate behind screens. These cybercriminals target phones through phishing scams, fake apps, or fraudulent messages. They might text you, pretending to be from your bank or a delivery service, tricking you into clicking a link. Once you do, malware is installed, allowing them to access your phone remotely. Others exploit public Wi-Fi networks, hacking into devices connected to unsecured hotspots. In more advanced schemes, they may use fake charging stations to infiltrate your phone's system. This method is especially dangerous because it often goes unnoticed until your accounts are compromised or your data is sold on the black market. So when a phone is stolen, the thief's first move is to act quickly to make it inaccessible to the owner. If the device is unlocked at the time, the thief will often switch to airplane mode to disable tracking features like Find My iPhone or Android's Find My Device. Removing the SIM card is another common step, further cutting the phone from its network and making it harder to trace. Locked phones present a more complex challenge, but experienced criminals may use specialized software or tools to bypass security features. Some phones are handed off almost immediately to accomplices with the technical know-how to jailbreak or factory reset the device, erasing all data and connection to the original owner. Once disconnected from tracking systems, the phone typically enters a black market network. Thieves aim to sell it as quickly as possible, often to middlemen who pay them a fraction of the phone's retail value. High-end models are especially desirable and may be smuggled overseas where demand is high and anti-theft measures are less effective. These phones can fetch significantly higher prices in foreign markets. A phone stolen in London might resurface in Lagos, Mumbai, or Hanoi a few days later. Alternatively, if selling the entire phone is risky or unprofitable, it may be dismantled for parts. Screens, batteries, and internal components are highly valuable on the black market and can be sold to repair shops or refurbishers. For some criminals, the device itself isn't actually the primary target. Instead, they focus on extracting sensitive data stored on the phone. If the thief gains access, apps linked to financial accounts like PayPal or Venmo can be exploited to transfer money. Personal information, passwords, and even private photos may be sold on the dark web, further fueling crimes such as identity theft and fraud. This entire process is designed to move quickly, often completed within hours, ensuring the phone and its contents are out of the victim's reach long before they can take any action to recover it. Well, welcome to the underground economy, the shadowy world where stolen phones are often the currency of choice. This isn't a ragtag operation. It's a global industry with its own networks, hierarchies, and supply chains. Let's start small. Local resale networks are the first stop for many stolen phones. In cities around the world, you'll find markets where stolen devices change hands openly, or at least semi-openly. These are places where buyers can get high-end phones at bargain prices, often without realizing or caring where they came from. Pawn shops, street vendors, and even small repair shops are part of this ecosystem, cleaning up stolen phones and flipping them for a profit. And then there's the online marketplace, where anonymity reigns supreme. Websites and apps like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or even less regulated parts of eBay are filled with listings for used or refurbished phones. Many of those are stolen devices, wiped clean and given a fresh story. Barely used, no box, must sell quickly. It's the digital equivalent of a back alley deal, and plenty of buyers take the bait. However, there is often a much bigger global market involved. Once stolen, many phones are funneled into networks that specialize in laundering the devices. These networks often span multiple countries, creating a logistical labyrinth that makes tracking nearly impossible. Key players include middlemen who buy the stolen phones in bulk, hackers who bypass security features, and brokers who arrange international shipments. In many regions, entire communities revolve around this trade, with specialized markets openly selling phones stripped of their original identities. These markets exist in cities from Hong Kong to Lagos to Dubai, acting as hubs where stolen devices are exchanged. Their resale value fuels the demand for stolen phones. High-end models like iPhones are particularly prized because they can sell for a premium even in their second life. In some cases, these phones are shipped to countries with weaker regulatory frameworks where anti-theft features like IMEI blacklisting are rarely enforced. Once across the border, they're sold to online marketplaces, local shops, or street vendors who present them as legitimate second-hand goods. But as we've already mentioned, not every phone stays intact. Many are dismantled for the valuable components. These parts feed into another black market, one for refurbished or counterfeit phones and replacement parts. In regions where repair industries are booming, the stolen components seamlessly integrate into the supply chain, making detection nearly impossible. A single stolen phone can sometimes be worth far more when it's sold for parts than it can be as a complete device. At the heart of this industry are organized crime syndicates, which see phones as low-risk, high-reward commodities. Unlike drugs or weapons, phones are inconspicuous and they're easy to transport, making them ideal for smuggling. Governments and law enforcement agencies struggle to keep up as the networks rapidly adapt to new security measures and crackdowns. Now, stolen phones don't just end up in the hands of unsuspecting buyers, they're sometimes repurposed by criminals to facilitate an alarming range of illicit activities. These devices, stripped of their original identity or used as is, become powerful tools for those looking to operate under the radar. One common use is for fraudulent activities. Stolen phones are often loaded with stolen SIM cards, allowing criminals to make untraceable calls or send phishing messages designed to steal sensitive information from unsuspecting victims. They might impersonate banks, government agencies, or delivery companies, luring individuals into sharing passwords, credit card numbers, or even access to their personal accounts. The anonymity of a stolen phone makes it the perfect device for launching these schemes. Phones are also used as burners in organized crime. Drug dealers, human traffickers, and even hitmen rely on untraceable communication to plan and execute illegal operations. Stolen devices provide them with a temporary, disposable communication channel. Once the phone has served its purpose, it's discarded, leaving no digital trail for law enforcement to follow. Sometimes the data stored on a stolen phone can actually be more valuable than the device itself. Criminals who bypass security features can access emails, social media accounts, banking apps. These are gold mines for identity theft, allowing thieves to open fraudulent accounts, make unauthorized purchases, or even blackmail the phone's original owner using personal photos or sensitive information. Stolen phones are also used to create fake online identities. By using the phone to verify accounts, criminals can establish seemingly legitimate profiles on social media or e-commerce platforms. These fake identities are then employed to scam others, sell counterfeit goods, or even recruit for further criminal activities. For more extensive operations, stolen phones can be used to execute cyber attacks. They can act as untraceable devices to breach networks, spread malware, or hack into secure systems. Since the original owner's details are often tied to the phone, any attempts to track the activity might lead investigators back to the victim rather than the perpetrator. It is a complicated, messy web. The perception of threat levels is one of the great oddities in human behavior, especially 25 years into the 21st century. Thanks to the relentless hyper-doom 24-hour news cycle, we have become certain that a murderer, a rapist, or a kidnapper lurks around every corner. While these statistics have seesawed over the last 100 years, broadly, there has been a reduction over the last 30. However, petty crime, such as phone theft, has exploded. Rising populations, economic inequality, and urbanization have created environments where theft, vandalism, and other minor offenses thrive. In the UK, shoplifting, bicycle theft, and pickpocketing have surged, often tied to economic downturns and periods of austerity. Similarly, petty crime rates in the US climbed steadily during the mid-20th century, driven by growing urban sprawl and socioeconomic challenges. While advancements in policing and technology, such as CCTV and neighborhood watch programs, have helped curb some types of petty crime, the rise of online fraud and digital scams has added a modern twist to these age-old issues, creating new challenges for law enforcement in both nations. Phone theft is an enormous problem in pretty much every country, and it's easy to see it as simply opportunity thievery, but it's actually far from the case. The stolen phone trade isn't just about a quick grab and go. It's a global, high-stakes operation that fuels a network of crime far bigger than most of us realize. From organized crime syndicates to unregulated markets thriving off our increasing dependence on technology, the stolen phone industry has carved itself into society, and it's absolutely booming. Estimates suggest that over 4 million devices are trafficked annually in the US alone, resulting in losses of approximately $900 million. However, this figure represents just a fraction of the worldwide impact. What makes the situation even more unsettling is how seamlessly it operates beneath the surface. The phones we rely on daily, our connections to friends, family, and work, can just as easily become the linchpins of illicit activity. And while technological advancements aim to keep us safer, they push thieves and criminals to evolve, finding new ways to exploit weaknesses and bypass protections. Thank you for watching.